I think, I mean, personally, huge thanks to people like Adele and everyone else who've taken on the baton of raising awareness for mental health and for Heads Together particularly. We've had an amazing time.
The Prince and Princess of Wales have rolled out a series of moves that are quietly reshaping how the British monarchy operates. Kate Middleton is back, stronger, more confident, and more influential than before. Prince William is also stepping into roles that few expected this quickly. A new home, expanded royal authority, a renewed focus on Britain's future, and a historic honor not seen in over a century all point to one thing. The Wales family is entering a new phase. Let's break it down. Kate's comeback is one that caught many off guard. At the center of it all is Princess Catherine, widely known as Kate Middleton. She has made one of the most significant returns in recent royal history. In March 2024, she released a video that shocked the public, revealing that she had cancer. That moment carried real weight. It showed a more personal and vulnerable side of her that had rarely been seen before. For years, her public image had been composed and controlled, but this was different. The palace had kept her illness private during the early stages of treatment, which led to intense speculation and rumors during her absence. Even so, Kate and William chose to stay focused on their family rather than respond to the noise. By January 2026, the situation had changed. On January 8th, just one day before her 44th birthday, Kate made a surprise appearance alongside William at She-Cross Hospital in London. The visit was to support healthcare workers as patrons of NHS charities, but it carried a deeper meaning. During the visit, Kate spoke with a volunteer who worked closely with cancer patients. When the volunteer mentioned the long hours spent supporting people through chemotherapy, Kate responded by saying, "I know." Those words stood out. It reflected lived experience rather than a formal response. The public noticed the difference immediately. It felt genuine. William also spoke about how their experience had given them a new level of respect for healthcare workers. His words came across as personal, not scripted. Kate's return is not just about resuming duties. It marks a shift in how she approaches her role. She is now sharing her story on her own terms. Royal observers have pointed out that her experience brings a level of relatability and authority that cannot be taught. She is not easing back in quietly. There are clear signs of a broader shift happening. One of the biggest developments is the new authority granted to William and Kate. Starting in spring 2026, they will serve as grantors of royal warrants. This allows them to officially recognize businesses that have supplied goods or services to the royal household for at least 5 of the past 7 years. A royal warrant is a powerful endorsement. It allows a company to display the royal arms in its branding for up to 5 years. This recognition can significantly boost a company's reputation and open doors to international markets in ways traditional advertising cannot. What makes this especially notable is Kate's role. She will be the first Princess of Wales in 115 years to grant royal warrants. The last was Mary of Teck in 1910. This places her in a rare historical position, bridging more than a century of change. Her influence, particularly in fashion and public perception, adds another layer. Brands associated with her are likely to see increased visibility and demand. There is already speculation about which businesses may be selected, with British heritage brands, independent makers, and sustainable labels all being discussed. King Charles approved this change in July, and the Royal Warrant Holders Association has confirmed their authority. Traditionally, this role is held by the monarch and their spouse, not the Prince of Wales and his partner. That makes this decision significant. It signals preparation for greater responsibility. This is not just ceremonial. It reflects a real shift in influence within the royal structure. Their choice of home also says a lot about their direction. William and Kate are now living in Forest Lodge, an 8-bedroom Georgian-style house in Windsor Great Park. The property is 328 years old, owned by King Charles III, and valued at up to £16 million. Kensington Palace confirmed the move, which happened earlier than expected. What stood out most was how they marked the transition. Instead of a formal approach, they hosted a surprise pub gathering for the builders and staff who worked on the home. They invited everyone to the York Club in Windsor and personally helped serve drinks and food. It was a simple but telling gesture. It reflects a different approach to royal life, less focus on rigid tradition, more emphasis on direct connection with people. Compared to their previous home, Adelaide Cottage, this move represents more than just a change of address. It signals a shift in how they want to be seen and how they plan to operate moving forward. They are not planning to have live-in staff, which already sets a different tone for how they want to live. Their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, are being raised with a focus on normal routines like school runs, homework, and weekend sports. It is a clear shift away from the traditional royal setup and closer to everyday family life. The property also includes a private lake, something Kate is especially drawn to because of her love for cold water swimming. She once said, "I love cold swimming," and William backed it up by saying, "You feel great afterwards." It is a small detail, but it shows how they are building a lifestyle that feels personal rather than purely royal. Kate has already started shaping the inside of the home. She was seen selecting a large 24-seat antique dining table, clearly chosen with big family gatherings in mind. This is not just about decoration. It is about creating a space centered around family, memories, and long-term plans. The home quietly reflects their future roles as king and queen. Unlike previous heirs who often based themselves at Buckingham Palace, William and Kate are doing things differently. Forest Lodge is becoming their main residence, similar to how King Charles prefers Clarence House. That decision speaks volumes about their priorities. It suggests they are building a version of the monarchy that feels more grounded in family life, nature, and a more relatable version of Britain. Then came a moment that carried more weight than it first appeared. The BAFTA 2026 ceremony turned into something far more strategic than just a film event. William and Kate made an unannounced appearance at London's Royal Festival Hall. It was not listed on the official schedule, which made it stand out immediately. The timing mattered. The royal family was facing intense media pressure following renewed attention around Prince Andrew, and public scrutiny was building again. Cameras were already focused on the situation, and the atmosphere was tense. Then William and Kate stepped onto the red carpet, not out of obligation, but by choice. That decision sent a clear signal. Their presence shifted the focus. It showed stability at a moment when the institution needed it. While headlines were pulling attention elsewhere, they chose visibility and composure. The red carpet became more than a backdrop for fashion and film. It turned into a subtle display of control and continuity. Kate's appearance carried added significance because it marked her return to the ceremony after time away for health reasons. She wore a flowing pink gradient Gucci gown, a piece she had worn before, paired with a burgundy handbag and soft waves in her hair. William matched the tone in a plum velvet jacket. Together, their look felt coordinated without being overstated. Inside the venue, they kept things natural. They spoke with nominees and filmmakers in a relaxed way. William admitted he had not yet seen Hamnet, one of the year's most talked about films, saying he had not had much quiet time. It was a simple comment, but it made him feel more relatable as a future king. Moments like this do not go unnoticed. Royal historians will likely revisit this appearance as an example of how public presence can be used with precision. It showed that William and Kate are prepared to handle both pressure and public expectation at the same time. Beyond appearances, their focus for 2026 is becoming more defined. They are putting energy into highlighting British achievements and recognizing people who often go unnoticed. According to reports, they plan to spotlight British businesses, skills, creativity, and community figures through regular engagements each month. The goal is to bring attention to individuals and groups who are making a real impact without national recognition. This approach connects directly to their existing work. It aligns with William's efforts on homelessness through his Homewards project, the global environmental focus of the Earthshot Prize, and Kate's work with early childhood development. The Earthshot Prize alone raised £23.9 million in 2025 to support environmental solutions around the world. That level of impact shows how their initiatives are designed to go beyond awareness and into real results. They have also supported the creation of a new mental health hub through the Jack Lewis Foundation. In another move, they partnered with Olympic champion Tom Dean, MBE, to provide swimming lessons to underserved communities. Each of these efforts ties back to their personal interests and experiences, making their work feel more direct and intentional. Taken together, their actions are shaping a clearer image of what they want the monarchy to become. Less distant, less ceremonial for the sake of appearance, and more engaged with real issues affecting everyday people. Their work in 2026 is clearly being shaped to reinforce a bigger message about where the monarchy is heading. While Kate has taken on a strong emotional role in their public story, William has been stepping deeper into global responsibilities. One of the clearest examples is his recent diplomatic visit to Saudi Arabia. Kensington Palace confirmed that Prince William traveled there from Monday, February 9th to Wednesday, February 11th. This marked his first official visit to the country. The trip was made at the request of the British government. According to the palace, the visit aligned with the UK and Saudi Arabia strengthening trade, energy, and investment ties, alongside nearly a century of diplomatic relations. That context matters. This was not just a ceremonial visit. It carried political and economic weight. The last senior royal to officially visit Riyadh was his father, King Charles, back in February 2014. Now, more than 10 years later, William is stepping into that same space. He is not only representing the monarchy, but also supporting the UK's position on the global stage. Saudi Arabia is a complex partner. The relationship involves trade, strategy, and sensitive political considerations. It requires careful handling, and William's involvement shows growing trust in his role. The fact that the government directly requested his presence signals something important. He is no longer being prepared quietly in the background. He is actively participating in matters tied to British foreign relations. At the same time, Kate has continued her own schedule with equal focus. While William was abroad, she visited Wakefield Trinity Rugby League Club in her role as patron of the Rugby Football League. It may seem like a smaller engagement, but it reflects consistency and presence at home. Together, their approach is coordinated. It is not about one stepping forward while the other steps back. They are operating as a unit, each covering different areas but moving toward the same goal. Looking at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that this is about more than individual appearances. William and Kate are gradually reshaping how the monarchy functions in a modern context. Consider everything happening at once. Kate has returned from a serious illness and is using that experience to connect with people in a direct and meaningful way. William is handling international diplomacy, supporting environmental initiatives, addressing homelessness, and still maintaining a visible role as a father of three. They are raising their children without live-in staff, choosing a lifestyle that feels more grounded. Instead of isolating themselves, they hosted a gathering for the workers who helped renovate their home. That choice alone signals a different tone. As the heir to the throne, William carries a specific kind of pressure. He is not simply continuing tradition. He is expected to redefine it in a way that keeps the monarchy relevant. Public trust in long-standing institutions has been shifting, and global relationships are becoming more complex. In that environment, the monarchy cannot rely only on history. It needs to feel connected to the present. Their recent actions reflect a structured approach: the move to Forest Lodge, the authority to grant royal warrants, the BAFTA appearance, the NHS hospital visit, the Saudi Arabia trip, and their broader focus on promoting British talent all fit together. Each step points toward a long-term vision. It suggests what a future reign under King William and Queen Catherine could look like. Forest Lodge itself has become part of that message. It represents privacy, stability, and a focus on family life. It also reflects how they want to balance public duty with personal well-being, both for themselves and their children. One insider described it by saying they are not moving up, but moving into a more real phase of life. That idea captures the shift taking place. The key point is this: William and Kate are no longer operating as distant future figures. They are already functioning as active leaders within the institution. The monarchy is being shaped in real time through their decisions. If 2026 is any indication, the direction is becoming clearer. What stands out most is how each move builds on the last. From Kate's return, to expanded authority, to carefully timed public appearances and international engagement, there is a consistent pattern. They are not simply following tradition. They are redefining it step by step, with a focus on relevance, connection, and long-term impact. And that pattern is only getting stronger as the year unfolds. What makes it stand out is how controlled and deliberate everything feels. Nothing looks rushed. Every appearance, every decision, and every message seems to connect back to a larger plan. Even the way they balance visibility is calculated. They are not everywhere all the time, but when they do appear, it carries weight. That kind of timing builds attention without overexposure. It keeps the public interested while also maintaining a sense of importance around each move. There is also a noticeable shift in tone. Previous generations of royals often leaned heavily on formality and distance. William and Kate are still respectful of tradition, but they are clearly adjusting how it is delivered. Their approach feels more direct, more human, and easier for people to relate to. That change is especially clear in how they communicate. Whether it is a short comment during, a quiet interaction with a volunteer, or a carefully chosen public appearance, the message is consistent. They are presenting a monarchy that listens, understands, and participates. Another key detail is how they divide their roles. William is taking on more international and strategic responsibilities, while Kate continues to build influence through social impact, health advocacy, and community engagement. It is not a split that creates distance. Instead, it strengthens their overall presence. This kind of structure allows them to cover more ground without losing focus. While one is representing Britain abroad, the other is reinforcing their connection at home. That balance creates stability and keeps their public image steady. Their influence is also expanding beyond traditional royal spaces. Projects like environmental funding, mental health support, and early childhood development are not symbolic efforts. They are tied to measurable outcomes and long-term investment. That matters because expectations have changed. Public figures, especially those in positions like theirs, are now expected to show results, not just support causes. William and Kate appear to understand that shift and are adjusting accordingly. There is also a generational factor at play. They represent a bridge between the monarchy's past and its future. They carry the history, but they are not relying on it alone. Instead, they are building something that can function in a very different world. Social media, global scrutiny, and changing public attitudes all play a role in how they are perceived. Every move is analyzed, shared, and discussed instantly. That environment leaves very little room for error, which makes their consistency even more noticeable. At the same time, they are not trying to control every narrative. There are moments where they allow things to unfold naturally, which adds to the sense of authenticity. That balance between control and openness is difficult to manage, but they seem to be finding a rhythm. Their family life also plays into this image. By keeping their children's routines grounded and relatively private, they are sending a message about priorities. It shows that even within a highly visible role, there are limits they are not willing to cross. That decision may have long-term effects on how the next generation of royals is perceived. It creates a foundation that feels more stable and less performative. Looking ahead, the real test will be consistency over time. It is one thing to introduce a new direction, but maintaining it under pressure is where it becomes meaningful. So far, their actions suggest they are thinking beyond short-term reactions. They are building a framework that can adapt. Whether it is handling public scrutiny, representing Britain internationally, or connecting with communities at home, their approach is designed to hold steady across different situations. And that is what makes this moment stand out. It is not defined by one event or one announcement. It is the accumulation of choices, each one reinforcing the same direction. Step by step, appearance by appearance, decision by decision, they are shaping a version of the monarchy that feels more aligned with the present while still connected to its past. And when you step back and really look at everything coming together, the direction becomes impossible to ignore. This is no longer about isolated moments or carefully staged appearances. It is about a steady transformation that is happening right in front of everyone. What makes it even more striking is how subtle it feels on the surface. There are no loud declarations or dramatic announcements claiming change. Instead, the shift is happening through actions, through choices, and through consistency. That approach makes it more effective because it builds trust over time rather than demanding attention all at once. William and Kate are not trying to replace the monarchy people recognize. They are reshaping how it functions in a world that no longer responds to tradition alone. That distinction matters. It allows them to move forward without completely disconnecting from the past. At the center of this shift is credibility. Every move they make seems designed to answer one question: why does the monarchy still matter today? Whether it is through supporting healthcare workers, engaging in global diplomacy, or investing in long-term social initiatives, they are building an answer that goes beyond ceremony. There is also a clear awareness of public expectation. People are paying closer attention than ever before, and they are quicker to question institutions that feel out of touch. William and Kate appear to understand that pressure. Instead of avoiding it, they are leaning into it with a more open and grounded approach. That is where their biggest advantage comes in. They are relatable in a way that previous generations struggled to maintain. Not because they are trying to be ordinary, but because they are willing to show parts of their reality that feel familiar. Moments of honesty, small interactions, and personal experiences all add to that perception. It creates a different kind of connection, one that is not based only on status, but on shared understanding. And in a time where trust is fragile, that kind of connection carries real weight. At the same time, they are not losing sight of the responsibility that comes with their position. There is still structure, still protocol, and still a clear sense of duty behind everything they do. The difference is in how it is presented. Instead of distance, there is presence. Instead of formality for its own sake, there is intention behind each action. That balance is difficult to maintain, but it is what defines their approach. Another important factor is timing. They are stepping into greater responsibility at a moment when the world is changing quickly. Political relationships are shifting, economic pressures are rising, and public expectations are evolving. In that environment, leadership is being judged differently. Symbolism alone is no longer enough. There has to be substance behind it. William's involvement in diplomacy and global initiatives, combined with Kate's focus on health and community impact, creates a more complete picture of leadership. It shows that their roles are not limited to representation. They are actively participating in areas that influence real outcomes. That level of involvement changes how they are viewed, both within the UK and internationally. There is also a long-term strategy taking shape. Nothing about their current path feels temporary. The decisions they are making now are laying the groundwork for what their future reign could look like. From where they live, to how they raise their children, to the causes they support, every detail contributes to that vision. It is a version of the monarchy that is less about separation and more about integration into everyday life. That does not mean every decision will be universally accepted. Change rarely works that way. There will always be criticism, questions, and moments of resistance. But what stands out is their willingness to move forward despite that. They are not reacting to every headline or shifting direction based on short-term pressure. Instead, they are maintaining a consistent path, which is often the hardest part of any transformation. And that consistency is what gives their approach strength. It builds a sense of reliability, something that institutions depend on to survive over time. Looking ahead, the real impact of what they are doing now may not be fully understood immediately. It will likely become clearer over the years as these choices begin to shape public perception in a lasting way. But even now, the signs are there. The monarchy is evolving, not through a single defining moment, but through a series of connected decisions that all point in the same direction. William and Kate are no longer figures waiting in the background for their time to come. They are already influencing what that future will look like. And if the current pace continues, what is being built will not just be a continuation of tradition. It will be a version of the monarchy that feels more aligned with the world it exists in, shaped by leadership that understands both its history and its future.